Like and subscribe to get more content of your favorite subreddit. Am I the asshole for talking back to my boyfriend's mom after she apologized for throwing away the leftovers I had in her fridge? This one is causing me some serious problems right now, and in addition to judgment on whether or not I was wrong to do what I did. Any advice on how to move forward from here would be appreciated. I'm at a loss. Okay, so, my F24 boyfriend, M23, of almost 7 years lives with his mom and stepdad. And we spend a lot of time there because while I'm living at house sitting my grandma's house in town, he doesn't like spending time there. His mom lets me cook there pretty much whenever I want, provided that I clean up whatever mess I make, which I do. About a week ago, I made a batch of white chicken chili for my boyfriend and I and his cousin's wife. And there was plenty left over that I put in the fridge. 3 days later, I was over again around lunchtime and was peckish. So I decided to go heat up some of the chili. But when I got to the fridge, it was gone. I asked the stepdad if he knew where it was. And he said they had thrown it out because it had been there a while and wasn't good anymore. I said there was no way it had gone bad already because I've made that recipe and kept it in the fridge for much longer just fine. I texted my boyfriend and asked why my leftovers kept getting thrown away. Not the first time something was gone within a few days. And he ended up talking to his mom about it, and she said that she probably shouldn't have thrown it out yet, but they usually just throw anything away that's been in the fridge for more than a day or two. He asked her to apologize since I was upset about the wasted money. I'm a first-year teacher paying off college loans elsewhere. House. All. Nonetheless, he's adamant that I was wildly disrespectful and should apologize to his mom for my back talk. So am I the asshole here? Edit. Formatting for readability. On mobile. ETA some missing context that will hopefully help clear some things up. I have been actively encouraged by BF and BF's mom in the past. Yes, even the recent past. To cook there and treat the kitchen house as my house as well. Again, as long as I clean up after. When I cook, I buy my own ingredients. With the exception of things like flour, sugar, milk, eggs, spices that are already on hand, etc. Because it's ridiculous to have a separate pantry for me in their house. However, I've also bought those things and more foodstuffs for their house before to repay using her stuff. For example, BF and I have been asked to run to town on occasion to get the ingredients for a meal she's making, and I pay for all of it myself to pay back what I've used. I do not have my own kitchen, nor do I have the ability to get my own place now or in the near future. I live with my grandma in town and pay a modest amount of rent to her. And then after Christmas she leaves for Florida until the spring and I watch the house. I first moved in when I graduated college last December to help watch the house while she was gone. My boyfriend doesn't like to be at my grandma's house much, even when she's not there, because it's not his house, and so he has to take care with someone else's things, and he can't just go out to the garage and work on his truck whenever he likes. So we don't end up spending much time at grandma's house. Yes, I've talked to him about this. No, it hasn't really gotten anywhere. The reality is, the stuff I have to work on, papers, notebooks, a laptop, etc., is generally more portable than his stuff. Trucks, heavy equipment, tools, etc. So if we both have things to get done but we want to also spend time together, it makes more sense to be there. Mind. As far as taking things with me when I left, over the next couple days after the chili was made, we were in and out a lot but rarely left his house to go to my house. It was usually to go to his cousin's house or some holiday party with his friends, family, or, at one point, my own birthday party at my parents' house. When we were leaving to go elsewhere, it didn't really make sense to try to grab the leftovers because then I'd just be carting it from someone else's kitchen to a different someone else's kitchen. And on top of that, it's not like moving the chili was at the forefront of my mind. Which leads me to, it wasn't a huge container like a full crock pot or anything. It was a medium to large-sized stackable Tupperware container. And I made sure I stacked it underneath the other stuff they had in the fridge so it didn't get in their way of using the fridge. And yes, despite having been around for almost 7 years and using the kitchen relatively often during that time, I did not know about the hard and fast 2 to 3 days rule. Usually we didn't have leftovers when I cooked at his house because everyone was eating with us. It's only fairly recently that there had been a couple instances of ending up with leftovers. Once I accidentally put too much cayenne pepper in the sauce I was making, and so that got thrown away right after dinner because no one wanted to keep eating the too spicy sauce. Another time I had a serving of pasta left that I went to find a few days later but was told it went bad, which I thought was odd at the time, but I let it go. But that was the catalyst for the "why are all my leftovers getting thrown away" comment, because that was a week or so before the chili incident. The only other leftovers were the occasional takeaway boxes from eating out that I was under the impression BF dealt with if he didn't eat it in time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to get more content of your favorite subreddit.